Hello traders, today is day number 59 of the small cap market open test trading. We took 2 trades today, so now we're 71 trades done out of 100. We only need to do 29 more before we're finished collecting the data and we can say how profitable the plan is and what changes need to be made when we're done. So today, as I said, we took 2 trades. We lost the first one as expected and we won the second one also as expected. What do I mean by that? My statistics tell me that my first trade only works out about a quarter of the time. And my second trade works out well more than half the time. And that's really a good number there because break even is 33% when you're holding all or nothing 2R. Anything above 33% is profitable. Even 40% is extremely profitable. So if you get a trade that has a higher than 50% win rate with 2R all or nothing trading, that's extremely profitable. And today, the small cap energy was finally back in the market. This is the screener right now. It's a little bit after the open, but we were looking at WTI and quadruple U, and we ended up trading quadruple U because it gave us the first setup. So our plan is kind of based on first come, first serve. Whichever stock is showing our setup first that meets all of our criteria on the daily chart, on the screener, all that stuff, that's the one we go with, and we stick with it. We use all 3 trades if we have to on that ticker symbol, and that's it, because discipline is the most important thing when you're trading. If you lose your first trade and you get scared and you think maybe I chose the wrong stock and you go to another stock, things can get out of control very quickly. So that's a very important part of the plan, is to just stick with one ticker symbol each day, and that's exactly what we did. We were checking them all on the daily chart. We had BBBY, which never gave us a setup, and it also fell off the screener because it went outside the market cap, so we wouldn't be able to trade it even if it did. Then we have, let's see what else. INDO never gave us a setup, but looked good on the daily, so it was on the chart page. And WTI, same thing, didn't give us a setup, at least as of when we were trading. Quadruple U, you could see it was the first stock to break out over its previous session high. That's what those yellow lines are. So that's why we decided to go with quadruple U. So let's get into the trade. We took 2 trades with it. And again, I go over what all these levels mean in the trading plan and detail, but this is getting ready to give me my first setup, which after all of this criteria and all of these levels have been hit, it is the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. But it's important to note that it's not just any 1 minute candle that makes a new high. It's after all of this other criteria have been met. So here we go into the first trade. So we're into the first trade. We got a perfect fill, 873. We wanted the break of the high of this candle, which is at 872. And our stop loss is 1 cent below the previous candle, which is almost always the case. The only time we don't put it there is if there's a consolidation. And I think that happens on the second trade, so I'll get to show you that. Then we use our XR calculator. You saw that to calculate our profit target. And now the trade is done. We just wait and watch. We expect this trade to fail because we know based off our statistics that it only works out 1/4 of the time or less even. And so we expect it to fail, but it's actually looking kind of strong here at the beginning. It goes a little bit sideways and kind of creeps up and then gives us a nice little pop. So I was thinking maybe this will be, one of our statistical anomalies and we'll be done a one and done day, which is always nice, but it actually fit our statistics perfectly. We had a double top here, which is just kind of nice to point out. Doesn't mean anything at all in our trading system. We don't care about what happens once we're in the trade. We just stick to the trade and let it play out. And that's so important because otherwise you're going to be second guessing every trade you take, and you're going to be moving your profit target, moving your stop loss, and totally screwing up your statistics. So let's let the trade play out. And as we expect, we get stopped out. Let me just show you that in real time. Our stop, I believe, was at 865. We got filled at 864, so we got 1 cent slippage. Not that big a deal. You're going to get a lot less slippage with those hard stops than you will stopping out manually, because you'll see in just a moment this thing continue to go lower. So if you saw this thing just start to flush down like that, there's a good chance you get the deer in the headlight syndrome, and you think, well, maybe it'll just bounce off this low, and this thing just continues to go lower. And how low are you willing to let it go before you can't stand it anymore? Here it goes even lower, and you stop out and you take a much bigger loss than you planned to take. So that's the beauty of the hard stop. We only got 1 cent slippage, and totally happy with that. Now let's move on, and waiting for the next entry, which as long as this level hasn't been broken here, That's the bottom of the first ABCD pattern. Again, I explain all of that stuff in the plan in detail. If that level doesn't get broken, we can take the next trade. If it does get broken, we're all done for the day and we just walk away minus 1R, which is no big deal. But this thing does trigger a second entry. It's coming up here shortly. So I'm waiting for that moment, that 1 minute candle to make a new high. I got 1 cent slippage on the way in. I'm going to move my stop up to the appropriate level. This is a consolidation area. You have a lower high on this candle and a higher low on this candle, so you can see kind of a triangle pattern forming there instead of, say, a lower low here, or a lower low here and a higher high on this candle. That would be like a kind of a parallel move upwards, but this is a triangle, and that's how you know it's a consolidation. If you just imagine a line there and a line there, we're drawing kind of a sideways triangle. So now the stop loss is at the low, just below the low of that candle, and we're in the trade. We use our XR calculator to calculate our profit target, including the slippage, 894. And we also mark out our ideal entry profit target. So if we would have gotten in at 867, our profit target would be 891, and you'll see me put a line out. And that is important because if that level gets hit and we get stopped out and this doesn't get hit, then we have to stop trading because the trade we wanted worked, but we missed it. But that's not what happened today. Today, this second trade worked out perfectly, just as our statistics tell us it should work out more than half the time right now, and it does. A little bit of a chop here, and it's starting to pop back up over that previous resistance level, which again, we don't really care about. It's just interesting to note. And then I'm going to fast forward. We see another pop. We're going to see some consolidation. And let's see. A little bit of resistance there at 891, which is interesting because that was our profit target for our ideal entry. But again, you don't want to get weak hand or paper hands or scared here and move your profit target down. You're going to screw up all of your statistics because our plan tells us to hold the 2R no matter what. So let's fast forward a little bit here. And now you can see that this thing has gone from red to green. And sorry, actually it went from green to red there for a moment, and now it's going back green. So you can see it would have been pretty scary holding through this, but we don't worry about that. We're already in the trade and we've done everything right. So we just let the trade play out. Fast forward a little bit more here. And there we get hit. So it's interesting because you don't see it go up here to 894, but you see the alert. So all that has to happen is the ask has to come up to 894, and the graphics didn't show that, but there you could see that our stop order is canceled, and there's the pop. It looks like the graphics were maybe a little bit behind the actual price action movement. So we got filled at 894 on the way out, and then we also marked out the 3R profit target, which did get hit. I can show you that on the charts. Let's see here. Let me just pull it up over here. Let's do UUU. All right, that SPLG is not a day trade, by the way. That's just me setting up a long-term position. So UUU, there is the 3R profit target at 907. And in fact, it looks like our, well, I won't be able to show you with the calculator now because I closed it because I've got the spreadsheet open, but it looks like our 4R profit target would have been hit as well. And that's something we're going to be tracking in the future when we implement this plan with full position size, which isn't too far off now. We've got 29 more trades to go. We are going to be tracking 4R profit target. We're going to track the 2R as well. We're not going to take it. We're going to be taking 3R. We're going to be tracking 4R, a few other things, but we're going to be getting more good data as we continue to trade this, but with full position size. And I'll explain what that means when we get there. So anyway, hopefully this video was helpful to you. And if you have any questions about it, let me know. If you're interested in the trading plan that I use, it is available on patreon.com/tradingarmor. Whether you use my plan, someone else's, or your own, which is ideal, I highly recommend going into every single trade with a plan. And it really should be a written plan. Just having kind of a plan that you come up with in your mind on each trade is a very dangerous thing, dangerous game to get into. You can talk yourself into a lot of weak setups doing that you'll regret later. So anyway, yeah, come up with the plans ahead of time. and just stick to it. And always use hard stops. That's really important because you have to preserve your capital when you're a new trader. Take those stop losses once they're out there. Do not move them. Put them in the appropriate place and let them sit. Put your profit target at the appropriate level according to your plan and just leave it there no matter how choppy it gets near your profit target, because discipline is the most important thing. So in short, always go into every single trade with a plan. Stick to that plan no matter what. Always take your stop losses, honor your profit target, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.